What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Oxnard Show. Today we're looking at the new Hasbro Star Wars Black Series Wave 42 figures. So we have a wave of 5 characters here. And starting off, we have characters from the Bad Batch of Echo, which of course was a newer member added into the Bad Batch as we saw at the end of the Clone Wars, and of course throughout the Bad Batch series, as well as Omega, a new character we were introduced to. So it's cool we got Omega, and she comes with Ruby and everything. So this is a really cool set. So getting 2 more characters to add in with our Bad Batch, and of course we have the side profiles there so we can add them in there together, of course, with all of our others, but that's pretty cool. And then from the Mandalorian, we have Ahsoka, a Death Watch Mandalorian, and the Client. So these 3 are pretty cool. Now, I'm personally not too much into the live action looking characters just because they look too real. So like the Client, and then Ahsoka's, a bit on that edge since it looks like Ahsoka, but of course was played by Rosario Dawson, so has that realistic sort of look to her face. So I don't really care for those 2 as much, but the Death Watch Mandalorian is pretty cool because, it just looks like another Mandalorian you could throw in with just about anything. So getting this pack here of 5 figures, all from our newer Disney Plus series and stuff, is pretty awesome, and I do like the wave just overall in general. So I'm excited to check all these figures out. So let me go ahead and get them open and out of the box, and we'll take a look at them together. So we're starting off with Echo, which of course is a clone trooper that we see join Clone Force 99, also known as the Bad Batch, following his rescue on Anaxis at the final season of the Clone Wars. And following that rescue, we see he's fashioned with cybernetics over most of his body and a socket arm, and we see get his name Echo in the Clone Wars from his compulsion to repeat orders to his team. So overall, he looks pretty cool here. Again, another Bad Batch member, and rounds off our team, which is really cool, and overall looks good. The only thing I don't really like, just looking at the figure right away, is his face. I don't think it looks enough like Echo, or just looks a little bit weird. Just looks like some random person, since they are clone troopers. They're supposed to look based off like Tamora Morrison's sort of face, obviously in a cartoon form, but with the Bad Batch they varied up the faces to make them a little bit more unique. But overall, he has the Clone Force 99 armor, so he has the heavier sort of armor there in the all gray, black, and red, which looks pretty cool. I like the skull on his chest, the red lines down the center on his shoulders and everything, and just running down through his body again with the colors of the black and gray. And then it looks like, especially down on the legs and to the feet, they went back to the bodies of the first 2. I think it was Hunter and Crosshairs that had the same sort of legs there, but I like the skirting down the side since he was like an ARC trooper and stuff, and the more the skirting pieces, so I like they still included that, but has some additional pockets and a holster and everything there. And then as mentioned, he has cybernetics and all the stuff with him, so I like how on his head he has all the little plug pieces in there, and then the big attachment on the back, very similar to Lobot and stuff, so I like that connection piece in there. And then as mentioned, they have his arm switched out for a socket arm, so he can use all sorts of different weapons and tools and stuff like that with that arm there, which I think is pretty cool. I like the integration of the arm, just to switch out into that piece there, which is pretty cool. So overall, besides the face, I do really like the look of the figure. I think it fits in pretty good with the rest of the Bad Batch, as we'll see, but just a nice looking figure overall. But for movements, we get the head that can twist all the way around. You can look down that far and up that far, so not too bad movements, not as bad as I was expecting it to be, but not that good either. The shoulders can come up, of course, have the little soft armor pieces can come up to 90, has a butterfly style joint in there, and can rotate all the way around. We get a bicep twist as well, pretty much right where the socket piece starts there, so we get the twist in there, and then we get the single sort of elbow joint that can bend up just over 90 degrees, it looks like, and of course you can go the opposite way as well and bend backwards and everything, so that's a fun, cool little piece. And of course, with the opposite arm, we have the single elbow joint that bends to 90 with the rotation in there, and then the wrist can twist around and flex back and forth. Now we have the ab crunch in the middle, so crunch forward and crunch back, so just a little bit of crunching there, but can twist side to side as well. And then we go down to the thighs that can come up, especially if you start lifting, they sort of twist out automatically because the armor can come up there just under 90 degrees, it looks like, and then out to the side a little bit. Again, with him having the skirting, it's a little bit hard to mess with and everything. But then we got the knee joint down there, so it looks like a single knee joint that bends up over 90, so pretty good bending actually for that, and has the twist as well. And then we get the foot that flexes back and forth and can twist side to side. So overall, not a bad figure at all. Does pretty good. Has some limitations, but not enough to cause any issues. But with Echo, he comes with a lot of accessories. So of course, like with all the other Bad Batch troopers, we get their backpack. So here is his backpack piece, has the antennas on it, has some of the red design in there. I like the gold little hit in there as well. And it looks like some canisters and stuff there on the side, but nice little backpack. Different sort of plug than the other ones where they had more like the T-shaped big fat plugs. This is just one little peg piece, but goes into the device or contraption there on his back. So you just can stick it right in there, and it sort of sits around with the diamond shaped or whatever there, and sits on his back there like that, which is cool. We also get an additional arm piece, so we get this big piece. I don't know what's supposed to be. I tried looking up and I couldn't really tell, but I don't know. I assume it probably shoots some sort of like ray or something out. But it's this nice, cool arm piece design with all the silver, some black, and like almost gunmetal or some darker colors in there as well. But with this, to get it on its arm, it's pretty easy. You just take and slide it right over the top, and it only slides on so far, and then this end piece does come off as well, so it falls off quite a bit. It only fits in a certain way, so you just have to find it there. So then you have this big attachment piece there on the end of Echo's hand, which I think is a little bit too big and bulky. I don't like the overall size of it and everything, but I do really like him with just this little like drill piece sort of thing on the end here, so I like that look a lot. So I probably won't ever use this sort of piece, but I do like that functionality of just clipping another piece right on top of it. And along with other Bad Batch members, and of course being a clone trooper itself, we do also get the DC-17 hand blaster, so the little blaster that a lot of the clone troopers use. So with this, you can stick into the holster here on his side, it just clips right in there, but we can also go and just stick it into his left hand here. So there I put the gun in his hand, and unfortunately he doesn't have a trigger finger or anything, so you can only get him to hold the gun in a certain way there, so that's a little unfortunate, but still looks pretty cool. And of course, finally for the Bad Batch, we have his helmet as well, his unique helmet, as they each have a different one. So his looks pretty cool. It has the 99 there on top, of course, for Clone Force 99, and an overall nice piece. Of course, looks sort of like the clone troopers or like the stormtroopers, especially with like the big two pieces here in the front, but the little mouthpiece with a little bit of red in there, which is cool, and a really thin visor. But we see with this one, he has a specialized one with the hole in the back to fit around his implant there on the back, and then has this little piece here that can sort of snap in there as well to get it around his head. So it is a little bit difficult to get it to sit on properly, again, especially around this implant, but once you get it on, it looks pretty cool. So let me go and slide it on here. So there's the helmet on, and that looks pretty cool there. And as you see, it just fits around the implant. So it is a little bit hard because of like the implant, like I said, and then as well as all those little like silver pieces on his head, it kind of sticks in there. So you have to get it slid down on and popped into place there, and then you can just easily snap the back piece in there together, which isn't too difficult. So that overall looks pretty cool there for Echo. And now that we have Echo, we can include the rest of our Bad Batch. And there we have all 5 members of our Bad Batch team, which look really cool all together. So we have Hunter, Echo, Crosshairs, Tech, and Wrecker there in the back. So all 5 of those look really cool, and they fit all nice together. So Tech is the only one that really sticks out because his armor doesn't really match color-wise with the other 4, but still all look really cool there together. So it's awesome to finish up another team here and have all the Bad Batch. So Echo contributing to that is really cool and a really good figure. So just to have the Bad Batch alone, it's awesome. But I also really like the figure itself. So such a good figure. And also going with Bad Batch, we have Omega, which Omega is an unmodified female clone of Jango Fett. So technically makes her a daughter of Jango Fett and a sister to Boba Fett because she's designed just like Boba Fett, just a female version. But in the Bad Batch, we see her join with Clone Force 99 to escape Kamino following the Empire's takeover. And throughout the series, we see her stay with their informant Sid at her parlor, where she befriends a pet lizard. So overall, Omega looks pretty cool here. I like the look of her a lot. It's a nice little figure, so when I bring in the Bad Batch here with her, you'll see just how short she is, which gives me hope that we'll finally get a Phantom Menace version of young Anakin, because I think they could use just the same body, just switch out, the parts and stuff. But overall looks good. So she looks, pretty nice overall. It's supposed to have that face again, once again, similar to Mor Morrison. So she has the like darker skin tone. I like the little like jewel crown piece there on her head, and her blonde hair all combed to the back there, which looks nice. And then she has an outfit on, since she is on Kamino, has like a more Kamino base. So she just has this like tunic piece on with a nice like white color piece with sleeves of red and blue, which look cool, and then the white goes down the center with some blue on the sides as well, with a belt piece there, and then some brown legs going into some black boots that go up to her knees. So pretty basic, simple figure, not a whole lot to it, but looks pretty nice just overall. Now for movements, we get the head that can twist all the way around, and it can look down that far and up that far. So not a whole lot of range there in the neck, which for a little figure isn't really that surprising. The shoulders can come up 90 and rotate all the way around. We get the single elbow joint that can bend to 90 and has the rotation, as well as the wrist that can twist around and flex back and forth. This one is an up and down flex. We have an ab crunch and twist in the middle, so she can crunch forward and crunch back mostly, so not much forward, but mostly back there, as you can see, and twist, of course, all the way around there as well. And then we get the hips that can come up a little bit with her skirting, it's in the waist, but you can force it out to the side a little bit there and up to 90, and then out to the side there as well, so not too far off. And we have a little bit of thigh twist up in there, a single knee joint that bends to 90 with the rotation, and then we get the foot that flexes back and forth and twists side to side. So not a bad little figure. Of course, has limitations once again, but for such a little figure, you know, it's surprised that it has as much movement as it does. So pretty just nice little figure overall there. Now she comes with a number of accessories. So like first off here, we have a breath mask. So just a little mask that they wore in one of the episodes when in like a planet, you know, that was hostile and stuff, so they couldn't breathe air. So we get this mask piece that you just push right on her face and it sort of sticks on there. You know, it doesn't really fall off or anything. So they did a good job with that design, you know, just getting able to stick on there. Of course, it's big and bulky, but I assume it's also intended for more adult sized people. So having it on a child's going to look big and oversized as well, but it fits pretty nice on her face, which is awesome. We also get the weapon that she picks up in the episode where they get the Rancor and everything. So we have this bow here. It's a Zygerian energy bow. So it shoots these energy blasts in the pink, as you can see, which looks pretty nice overall. So it'd be cool if the bow folded up like it does in the show and everything, but it's just a stationary sort of bow piece here. And I assume it's going to be pretty hard to get into her hand. I don't know exactly how you need to do it to get in there, but let me see if I can try and get it in her hand at least. So it's not the easiest to get into her hands, but I was able to do at least that much. So it doesn't look too bad. Of course, with the single elbow joint only bending so far there, it doesn't allow it to really do too much better. But of course, that's kind of an issue, at least for me, with the Hasbro characters, like especially the Power Ranger stuff, the characters that come with bows, you don't really get to work out too well how they work, but it's not too bad there for her. And I don't think it looks horrible, so it's not bad. And finally, she comes with the lizard character I was talking about earlier of Ruby. So again, this is like the pet of Sid that Omega sort of befriends at her parlor. So just this, it's called a lizard is the species of it, but it almost looks like a pangolin. So it almost has like all this spikes thing going there all the way down its back, but it has the little feet there. And then the face with the little mouth almost looks like a lizard's mouth there. And then it has like the nose piece or whatever there on the top in black, which looks really weird. But it's awesome that we do this additional figure. So it comes with the Omega as well, since she's so small. You know, you get another additional like thing thrown in there to help fill out the price point and everything. So you're not getting as ripped off of it as it would seem and stuff. So pretty cool that it comes with this as well. And of course, having Omega here, we can throw her in with the rest of the Bad Batch as well. There I threw her in with the Bad Batch, all with their unmasked helmets on there. So that looks pretty cool having them all there together. So we have a more complete Bad Batch team as we saw in the series. So that is really cool having them all there together. And once again, pretty awesome figure there for Omega. Obviously not the best, but that's what you get with having such a small little figure. But she does what she's supposed to. So a pretty good figure there to go along with this set as well. And next up, we've got Ahsoka Tano from the Mandalorian series, and she is a female Togretta, and we see by 9ABY that she's on the search for Thrawn, where she ends up meeting Din Djarin on planet Corvus, where Din was trying to return the foundling back to the Jedi, where she informed them that she could not train Grogu due his connections with Mando, but to take him to Tython to the Seeing Stone, where he can reach out in the Force to other Jedis. And of course, we see by the end of the series that Luke Skywalker comes for Grogu, and then of course we also see her in the Book of Boba Fett with Luke Skywalker building his Jedi temple. So very awesome to have the live action version of Ahsoka here, played by Rosario Dawson. And overall, I think it looks pretty good. Like when we see the older versions of Ahsoka coming in, I like that she looks more like her Clone Wars version, so her younger years. But overall, I'm just not a fan of the live action stuff, so this isn't my favorite version of Ahsoka at all. But I do love Togretta's. Like Shakti is one of my all-time favorite Jedis, so I love getting Togretta, so I like the look of her overall, where she has her orange skin with the white detailings on her face, and then of course has the head tail piece with the white tails with the blue lines in them. Looks pretty cool there overall. I like her nice little headdress piece there as well. And as I mentioned, the face of Rosario Dawson that I think looks pretty good. You obviously not exactly, but she's covered with paint and everything, so it's hard to see there. But then we have her outfit, which like I said, matches a little bit more to me, at least along with the Clone Wars, because it looks like she has a dark blue outfit on. So that's pretty cool. So she has a darker blue top, as well as this midsection piece here with like a belt and like the skirt pieces coming down, which is a pretty weird design. You know, reminds me of like Doctor Strange or something. And then she's got some look like black pants. It's hard to tell if they're black or dark blue once again, but with the shine and stuff, they look more black. But she's got the baggy black pants going down into the like shoe pieces here, where she even has like the toe shoes like ninjas wear, which is pretty awesome. And then on her arm, she has the arm sleeves going all the way up. I like the little diamond designs right in there. And then the armor pieces on her forearms there, and the darker blue and gray sort of colors there. So pretty nice just looking figure overall. I really like the look of it, but like I said, just with being the live action, I'm not too fond of it itself. But let's go and do her movements. So her head can twist a little side to side. Again, with her head tails, it's going to be hard to get movements beyond that. So just a little side to side there. And then she can look down just about that far and up again just about that far again because of the head tail. So not much movements in there, so not very good for that part. But for the shoulders, they can come up 90 degrees and have the butterfly joint, so it can go back a little bit more here just with the design we have, and of course can rotate all the way around. We get the single elbow joint that bends to 90 with the rotation, as well as the wrist to twist around and flex up and down for this hand. We have the ab crunch in the middle, so crunch forward, crunch back, so pretty good crunching twist around there as well. And then we go to the hips that can come up about 90. I was surprised they went up that far with the like skirting piece. I figured get in the way, so it looks like a little bit under 90 actually. And then out to the side that far, so not too bad once again for going to the splits. Thigh twist up in there as well, which is always good. A single knee joint, which of course I like the integration into the big fat piece here, so you kind of see the hidden joint back in there. So when it's straight on, you don't see the joint at all, so that's pretty nice there, but you can see through the back the joint section cut out, so that can bend up to 90 and has the rotation in there as well. The foot joint that can rock back and forth and twist side to side. So once again, a really good figure with movements. Of course, the neck was like the biggest issue for her, but other than that, no real issues. I mean, just the standard joints you get and everything with Star Wars figures, so not bad at all. And for her accessories, we of course get her 2 lightsabers. So we have her dual white bladed lightsabers, which look pretty cool. So the nice hilt design stuff, I like the combination of taking them from the animated series, especially with the like curved sword blades here from Rebels into live action. So really nice looking hilts with the purified white blades that she got from the 6th brother Inquisitor that she took and purified him so they turned white. So that looks pretty awesome. So we can go ahead and give these to her. Before I do want to mention she does have these little tiny like peg things sticking off to the side. So usually they have a thing, you know, for the put her lightsabers, but with hers they're just so small. But I feel with the holes that they have on the hilts, that especially if you take the blade off, it'd fit in much easier. But we don't need to worry about that. Let's go ahead and just put them into her hands. So there I got the blades in her hands, and I kind of gave her her patented like backhand grip there for one of the blades as well. So that looks pretty awesome there for the Ahsoka just overall with the white blades and everything. So that is a really nice looking figure. Like this is probably one of my favorite Ahsokas just body design wise, because the others I have issues getting them to stand just because of their feet. But with her having the different sort of feet designs, I have no issues getting her to stand or the joints and stuff. So that's pretty cool. I just, like I said, don't like the live action looks that much. But of course we can bring in her animated versions in here as well. So on the left we have her in the last season of the Clone Wars, so the figure we got of her, and that's why I said they took a lot of the look with like the blues and everything for her. So I do like that look a lot as well. And then on the right we have her from Rebels, so when she's older and closer to the age she would be as we see her in this new figure, but of course obviously looks much different. And I do like though how the newest one is the shortest out of all of them, so that's pretty fun as well. But a pretty good representation of Ahsoka. I think they did a really good job on bringing her into live action, and so I think it's probably as good as it could be. So a pretty nice figure over here. So I do really like this a lot. Like I said, I'm just not fond of the live action. And next up here we have the Death Watch Mandalorian from the Mandalorian series. And the Death Watch is an extremist splinter group that oppose the government of Mandalore when led under Duchess Satine. So we'd see the Death Watch join up with Darth Maul's Shadow Collective and take over Mandalore. But as we see in the Mandalorian when he has the flashback, in 19 BBY, Din Djarin was rescued by the Death Watch and was raised as a foundling. But the Death Watch here looks pretty cool, so it has the all blue armor that I absolutely love. Since I love blue, you know, having all blue armor like this is pretty awesome. But we see a lot of similarities, you know, with like Jango Fett, especially in the helmet with the blue and stuff. Just need some more silver thrown in there. But I like the different shades as well. So like just the normal flat blue that a lot of these are, the lighter blue right in the center, and then the really light blue right in the front there as well. So I just like those different shades of blue into the helmet, but of course have the classic T-visor and the viewfinder and everything there for the helmet. And with these on this figure, it doesn't come off or anything, so it always has to have the helmet on. And then we have the classic Mandalorian armor. So we have the armor chest plate, the short armor, again, probably all made in Beskar, but painted blue, and I like white stripes going into the shoulders there, which is awesome. We have this dark color body glove underneath. It's like a gray, but almost has like a purple tint to it as well, which I like the separations of the colors there, so that's awesome. Belt around the waist with pockets and holsters and everything. We have the Van braces on the forearms, of course, that shoot off different weapons, and the flamethrowers and ripcords and all sorts of stuff there. More Beskar armor down on the legs in the blue, again with more white, especially there on the knee pads as well, with of course the little pieces that shoot off the rockets and stuff. The black boots that go up to the knees, and on the back we have a JT-12 jetpack as well, so just like one of the basic sort of jetpacks there that I kind of already left on it, but looks pretty cool there just overall for the Death Watch Mandalorian. Now for movements, we get the head that can twist all the way around. As I mentioned, the helmet doesn't come off, so it's just that there. It can look down that far and up that far, so probably the best movements of the neck so far, which is good. Shoulders can come up 90 degrees. I like the shoulder armor here, how it's separated and attached at the top, so it's always going to be out of the way there. So it comes up to 90 and of course has the rotation in there. We get the single elbow joint that bends to 90 with the rotation. There is the twist at the gauntlet as well, so it can twist all the way around there. And then the wrist that can twist around and flex up and down once again for this hand. We have the ab crunch and twist right under the separation of the armor there. So crunch forward, crunch back. So pretty good crunch for this, and twist all the way around there as well. We get the hips that can come up to about 90 there, out to the side that far. Not too bad once again. Of course, a thigh twist in there, but we have to worry about the connection up into the holster and stuff, so it can only go so far. We get the single knee joint that bends to 90 and has the rotation. Now with these newer ones, this piece is separate, so it does sort of twist around, so it just sits right on the front there. But like I said, with it being separate, a lot of times when you twist the legs, yeah, it gets twisted around in there, so you always have to kind of adjust it and get it straightened back on. And then we get the foot that flexes back and forth and can twist side to side. So once again, no real issues with movements or anything, fits all pretty well and pretty standard for what we've seen in the past. Oh, and the viewfinder does also fold down as well there. I forgot to mention that. But for accessories, we of course get the jetpack that I've already pointed out there and already put on his back. So we have the jetpack there, which is cool. And then he comes with some weapons. So we get their standard West Star 35 blaster pistol. So just their standard little pistol guns here, which is pretty cool. And we can go ahead and stick into the holster here. He only has one holster and we only get one gun, so it fits perfectly. So let's go and just slide this in here. The pistol just fits real nice in there and has the strap on it that you can strap down. And for the main weapon, we have the Galar 15 blaster carbine, which is a pretty cool gun, pretty similar to like what we see Boba Fett use and everything. So pretty nice there. Has the scope on top, the additional grip in the front, and the stock there in the back. So pretty nice. So let's go and put this into his hand. So there I got the gun in his hand, and that overall looks pretty cool to me. I like the look with the gun in his hands and of course the jetpack and all the blue and stuff. So this is just a really awesome looking figure to me, and I really like this a lot. Now the closest thing we have to this, of course, besides like a Boba Fett or something, is one of the Mandalorians that we got from the Clone Wars series as well. So again, from that last season of the Clone Wars, the figure we got with that. So this is like the closest sort of comparison, should be similar to time-wise and everything there. Of course, could be just from a different group or something, but you see the difference in colors and stuff. So I definitely like the new Death Watch Mandalorian much more. I really like the look of that one, especially compared to this old one. And the thing with the old one is I hate the feet with like the jagged points and stuff. These things are so hard to stand up, where this one with the new feet designed like boots and stuff is so much easier to stand up. So I definitely prefer this new Death Watch Mandalorian figure much more, and would be a pretty good like little army builder figure as well. You could get just a bunch of them and have a whole Death Watch clan, which is pretty cool. And our final figure of the wave is the Client, which was associated with the remnant of the Galactic Empire, and he hired bounty hunters to acquire Grogu, the infant of the same species as Jedi Master Yoda, from a Nikto mercenary group. And we see in the Mandalorian series, he gives Beskar as a down payment to Mando, and then a Camtono full of Beskar once Mando returns with Grogu. But by the end of the first season, we see that he gets killed off by Moff Gideon's Death Trooper when they open fire on the cantina that he, along with Mandalorian and the group, is in. So unfortunately doesn't make it through very far, but he overall looks pretty good, and played by Werner Herzog, so we have his face there, which looks pretty good just overall. Looks pretty much how I see it. A little bit too shiny, of course, with like the face printing, but overall not too bad, with the older man face, and the white hair all come to the back. You can see his bald spot and everything, of course balding sections in the front, so that's pretty good. And then he's got his outfit on, which looks very much imperialish and stuff. Has this nice coat on over the top, which it looks like it's maybe a black, could be dark brown. It's hard to tell with all the browns and stuff, but I believe the outer coat here is all black with the brown fur up at the top, and I even like the little like gold chain going across there, some brown at the end of the sleeves as well. And then underneath, of course, he has the like metal on there with the Empire logo, so pretty interesting that he's just wearing that around now that the Empire's gone. But underneath we have brown outfit on, and once again very similar to like the Empire outfits and stuff. So he has the shirt on, which has a nice like texture design to it in brown, and then has the brown Empire like pants, so even has like the stripe down the side, so sort of like we see Han Solo wearing everything, just without any color or anything, but the belt on with the like plate that was very similar to a bunch of the Imperial officers stuff we've had in the past. And then he's got the knee-high all black leather boots. So pretty just nice looking figure design just overall. I really like the look of it, but once again, with being a live action and seeing a human look to it and stuff, I don't like it as much. But for movements, we get the head that can twist around. Of course, that metal's in the way, so it's gonna twist around in there as well, and look down that far and up just pretty much straight on there. So not a whole lot of range, unfortunately, but the shoulders can come up to 90 degrees, and of course then rotate all the way around within there. We get the single elbow joint that bends to 90 with the rotation as well, and the wrist that can twist around and flex back and forth a little bit, but because of the sleeves coming down so far, it's hard to get really any movements at all with his hands. But for ab crunch, we have the crunch right at his waist, so he can crunch forward, crunch back a little bit. Again, with these figures, it's mostly back, so you can see it sort of crunching back there, but twist around at the waist as well. The hips can come up to 90 out to the side, pretty much that far. Of course, with the coat in the way, you have to sort of like twist it more towards the front, but we have a thigh twist that can twist all the way around. around, as well as a single knee joint. If we get twist more to the front here to get the joint, we can see bends up at least that far, so about 90 degrees, and it has the rotation. Finally, with the foot that flexes back and forth and twists side to side. So once again, not a bad figure, no real major issues, quite surprising for one being an old man. He would have limitations in real life, and then having the long trench coat on as well, it's not in the way too much either, so I'm quite surprised he moves as easily as he does. But we get some additional accessories, of course. So first off, we have the tracker fob, of course the fob they give to Mando to be able to track Grogu and everything, so nice little tracker fob that we can stick into his hand. So there, I just put the tracker fob there. And finally, he also comes with a Camtono, which is pretty cool. So of course in real life, based off of the ice cream maker, but they used it back in Empire Strikes Back with Roro Hood and stuff, having the Camtono. But with this, it's pretty awesome that it has the pieces that can open. It's a little bit hard to open, and I'm afraid I'm going to break these little doors off at some point because they're only attached by a little thin plastic. But you can open up the doors, and there are 3 that go all the way around. But inside we have stacks of Beskar, so that's pretty cool as well. So we have the stacks here, all the stacks of Beskar, and even like there on the top piece, they have the design with like what I call like the tiger stripe design, just all the lines in there, and then even has the little Empire logo like stamped up there in the top corner and stuff. So we get 2 of those stacks as well that, like I said, I've already just kind of thrown in here for storage of them, but since that's what they use in the show and stuff, it's pretty nice. But like I said, the little door piece here I feel could just like rip off. It looks like it's about to fall off anyway, so that worries me a lot with this. So that's a little unfortunate that it feels like it's gonna just rip off. But a nice little Camtono to throw in here as well, and it has the hole here I'm sure you can get the hand into. So let's see if I can put it into his hand. So there I was able to get the Camtono just in his hand there, so that overall looks pretty cool there. Having the client there looks pretty awesome. And of course, with him being part of the Remnant, we also have the Remnant Trooper we can bring in here as well. Of course, we would need more to have like his little army and stuff he has, but pretty cool overall just to have the client there along with the Remnant Trooper to go along with it. So that is pretty cool having those there together, and another good figure to add to the set. And of course, with those Mandalorian figures, we can bring in Mando with baby Grogu here as well, which looks pretty cool having all those Mandalorian figures there together from the set. So that is pretty awesome having them all there. Just looks really cool. But there we have our Star Wars Black Series Wave 42 wave, where we had a lot of cool figures in the set. So from Bad Batch, we got Echo and Omega, and from The Mandalorian, we got Ahsoka, the Client, and a Watch Mandalorian. So overall, this was a pretty cool wave. Like I said, I'm not too crazy about the live action figures, but I think for figure-wise, they pulled them off really good, and I think there's no real issues or anything with these, so really nice figures there. And then, of course, awesome getting the 2 characters from the Bad Batch there with Echo and Omega ending off our Bad Batch, which is always awesome. So a really good wave here all around to me. But let me know what you thought of it down in the comments, and if you enjoyed my review, let me know with a thumbs up. But I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.